So guys, I'm making this video of it with a very heavy heart. As you guys have probably heard, what happened in Meron for Lag BaOmer, the holiday of Lag BaOmer. A terrible tragedy has befallen the Jewish nation. And as a friend of mine likes to say, there's a big gzera, there's a big decree in Shemaim at the moment. Excuse me. On the nation and on the world, really, if you guys look at what's going on in the world. But I'll tell you guys something, a personal story related to this. I was supposed to be in Meron tonight. And because my original ticket to fly back was the day before Yom Ha'atzmaut. And why did that not happen? Because I had to fly to another city. Let's put it this way, on business. I'll leave it at that. I had to fly a couple of days before Yom Ha'atzmaut. I had to fly to another city in America. And because of that, I ended up postponing, or moving my flight back 2 weeks. And, whatever the business that I flew to another city for, it ended up being a waste. Let's put it this way. In the end, what seemed like a waste of time. And today I woke up and I said to myself, this is Erev Lag BaOmer, and I said to myself, man, I should be there right now. Hashem, and I asked Hashem, I was like, Hashem, why did you orchestrate this trip that I had that ended up failing miserably? Like, what was even the point of that whole thing? Which was quite, let's put it this way, it was something I thought was going to work out, but didn't. And so I was asking Hashem, I'm like, why did I even have that? Spend that time, spend the money. And then, I guess 5 hours later, I got my answer from the news. I got my answer. And the answer was to be, well, you probably would have been in Meron, and Lord knows what would have happened. So I had to get you to stay for another 2 weeks. So, my friends, I don't really know what to say. I told this to a friend of mine, and a friend of mine is like, well, how do you then account for the people that didn't get saved, the people that passed away in this thing? And I said, number one, I have no idea. And number two, I can only calculate my own heshbon. I can only figure out my own heshbon in this whole thing. I cannot figure out anybody else's heshbon. The only heshbon I'm given access to in this matrix we call, life in the world is, my own. I can only see my own calculations and my own, siyata d'shmaya, hashgacha pratis. I can only make my own conclusions. Playing for the families of love, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like Bibi said that this is one of the worst tragedies in the history of the state. I would say in the nation, really. I mean, like you're talking about some, students died, and these, forget it, Rabbi Kiva students. The story of Lag BaOmer. I mean, hello. Yeah. Isurim was in the cards. It's such a mess. Yeah, man. As Rabbi Kesson says, my friend Brian, as Rabbi Kesson says, there's a lot of, what do they call them? Kitrugim, a lot of accusations that the Satan has on the nation right now, and it's really within us to fix these things, within the Jewish people alone. I'm not talking about the rest of the world, but we're the example, and we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're just not. We're just not. Not only that, we are doing what we're not supposed to be doing amongst ourselves. And it's just, Hashem is just like, how many messages do you guys want? Like, yeah. So, remember, be a blessing. We'll never understand every tragedy we can strive to better. Yeah, listen, it's out to Hashem, but. So, yeah, so I was supposed to be there. And a friend of mine told me, I told him this whole thing, how crazy this was. And he tells me, he's like, most people never get the answer. When they ask Hashem the question, he goes, most people never get the answer. So he goes, just be happy that you got an answer. I was like, wow, okay. That works. Anyway, guys, before I sign off, I want to read to you guys something from someone, I guess. I never met the guy, but I feel like I'm connected to him. He wrote a book. His name is Yaakov Klein, Rabbi Yaakov Klein. He wrote a book called Sparks from Berdichev. It's the Levi Yitzhak Berdichev's weekly or commentary on the Parsha. But it's not so much even a commentary on the Parsha, it's just different stories and ideas and all these kind of things. Very good book, I highly recommend it. Sparks from Berdichev. So, this is what Yaakov Klein, who apparently lives in half an hour from Meron, wrote about the situation. It's 5:30 in the morning here. He wakes up early to daven Nate's. We were half an hour from Meron when we heard the news. Without hesitation, we immediately turned around, and headed back home. Watching an endless stream of emergency vehicles rush past us in the other direction. I can't sleep. I'm trying to work out my feelings, process different possible approaches to the awesome tragedy that has befallen Am Israel, like the whole nation, and identify the one I feel rings truest for me in this impossibly difficult moment. Here I must thank a chaver, a friend who wrote to me a little while ago, expressing pain over his own spiritual struggles, as well as what happened tonight in Meron. Strangely enough, the juxtaposition he drew between his brokenness over personal struggles and a great tragedy in Meron was helpful to me, and I want to tell you why. I was at a wedding earlier tonight, an amazing wedding with some enormously special guests in attendance, among them Hagaon Hagadol Rav Tzvi Cheshin Shlita, one of the Breslover Gadolim, a world-renowned genius and Talmid Chacham. I overheard as an American Bacher approach Rav Tzvi by the chuppah and asked him, what does the Rav recommend I do? I do so I can win my battle with the Yetzer Hara. Rav Tzvi looked at him and smiled wryly. Win? Win? He exclaimed. One is not sent here to win. Okay, win my battle. One is sent here to fight. You see, you're sweet, but you're not an angel. Angels, there are millions of those, and they all win. But there's only one of you, and your fight is infinitely precious to Hashem. All of life is ratzo v'shov, running and returning, ebb and flow. Hopefully, with time, the battles progress to a more elevated terrain. But the first thing to do when we taste our humanity once more is to feel the pain of our failures, express regret, get in touch with our true identity, an essential desire within, and put safeguards in place to ensure the same thing doesn't happen again. Then our avoda is to move on with simcha and confidence, to remember that this process is not b'di'evid, that tshuva is a mitzvah d'oraisa, like according to the Torah, and that it's the struggles we endure that create the tension necessary for the possibility of a fight, the fight Hashem so desires. B'ezrat Hashem, we will stand up from our slip-ups, humbled, wiser, and aware of the danger that ever lurks in the background, and the need for constant vigilance. But we will also stand up with the endless joy and confidence of knowing that this is all part of the journey, part of the quest for authenticity. There are no words to convey our feelings about what happened tonight. There are so many angles to consider, each one more heartbreaking than the next, and many of them deserve nothing more and nothing less than silence alone. Vayidom Acharon. But we must always remember that what Reb Nachman taught us, everything that happens in the world is solely to test our emunah. What are our options right now? Despair, Satan incarnate. Give up hope, Sitra Achra. It seems that we have no choice but to feel the bitter pain and blackness of our collective loss, and the unbearable broken hearts of the wives, mothers, and children of those who were lost, to mourn it in the deepest way, and somehow at the very same time to keep our chin up, to march onward with firm conviction and Hashem's desire for our service despite his apparent slap in the face. To believe in all the good we contain within and add on even more with confidence that this is what he truly wants beyond the mask of his wrath. Hashem wants the impossible struggle. He wants our current confusion, because he believes in our ability to allow the brilliant light of Emunah, Simcha, Chizuk, and Azus B'Kedusha to triumph over even the most fearsome and unexplainable darkness, to grant us the strength to continue forging on. May we use our personal struggles to help us express our pain over the terrible tragedy. May we use a tragedy to deepen our pain over the brokenness we experience within. But also, even at the very same time, may we remember what we are collectively being called upon to do in this defining moment in time, to march onward, not despite the tragedy, but because of it. But because it was this light of Rabbi Shimon and the victims were in Meron, celebrating in the first place, because this is their legacy, that whatever horrific decree it was that swallowed them up utterly and entirely powerless against our nation, is utterly entirely powerless against our national spirit, and the mighty endurance woven into the DNA of our Jewishness. Hazor bedima berina, with tears and with joy and with tears. Umacha Hashem dima mei me'al kol panim. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what to say. As you probably noticed, I'm not wearing a kippah, right? So I didn't grow up this way. I didn't grow up religious. And I came to this when I was 30 years old, not 40. Surprise. And so, at some point you just kind of say well, it's not that I'm asking why am I doing this. It's just that, I'm walking around my house under a roof, so I'm thinking to myself, well, the whole point of a kippah is to know that there's something above you, right? With someone above you. So, if I'm under a roof, what do I need a kippah for, right? I think it's definitely more than that. It started actually with everything that happened in the States before I moved back to Israel. This is winter 2019, to where I just stopped wearing a kippah on the streets. Not because I'm not proud, not because this or that and the other. It's just, you understand Jewish history, and you understand that it's not wise to do that. And anybody who wears a kippah in America, listen, if you want to wear a kippah, fine by me, do your thing. But I'll tell you guys something. I deal with people in a certain office sometimes. And I see the difference when I used to come in with a kippah and when I used to come in with not a kippah. When I used to come in with a kippah, I never had so many problems dealing with these people, and these people, helping me with what I need them to help me with. When I come without a kippah, totally different conversation. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to take these people to court, right? Because they didn't do anything necessarily wrong. They just kind of give me a hard time. So I said to myself, you know what? Expedite the process of what I need to get done. I'm just going to pretend I'm, I don't know, undercover Mossad agent, or put myself in the shoes of my parents who grew up in the Soviet Union, who had to hide that stuff, and they couldn't hide it anyway. So I was just like, you know what? If these people are going to behave this way with me, then, and I need to get things done, then it is what it is, I'm not going to wear the kippah. So, apart from that, I've just kind of been lax with davening, learning, and these are things that I was doing just, lack of a better term, religiously. And it's been a very big struggle, and it's been kind of a parallel struggle with just the nation. And now I think everything that happened, first of all, with just the tragedy itself, but also the fact of the story that I told you guys, that I was supposed to be in Meron. And it's this whole convoluted thing, and how I was upset and that I couldn't, come back at the time that I wanted to come back. And I was asking, why did I even go to this thing, which, to say that it was a waste of time, I'm not even giving you guys a half of it. Let's put it that way, right? Not waste of time, but I'm using the wrong terminology to cloak what I actually want to say. So, so I don't really want to get into it. But the point is, I was asking Hashem this morning. I was like, why? Why did I need to go there and just waste 4 days, so to speak, and money, a ton of money, and not be able to come back to Israel and be in Meron for Lag Bomer? I was asking this at 10 o'clock in the morning, New York time. And 6 hours later, sure as heck got my answer. Unfortunately, I got my answer. Yeah, guys. So, I think it's a wake-up call. I think it's a wake-up call for everybody. I think everybody knows the level, meaning not everybody has the same goals and the same tasks and the same mission and even on the same level. So, but I'm assuming that everybody's self-aware and everybody knows their own level and knows what they're supposed to be doing, or what they've been woken up to do. Not woken up, like today. If you guys saw what happened in Meron today, you have been woken up. You were sent a message by Hashem. This is not, just a freak. It is a freak accident, but it's not for no purpose. There is a purpose to this, I can assure you. People could say needlessly, this. Yeah, they needlessly died. They needlessly left their families and this world, these people. It is needless. It's true. It's needless for them, and it's needless for, their families. But I would like to say, controversial thing, it's not needless for us. We cannot make this needless, meaning we have to learn from this. We have to elevate. We have to do what we're supposed to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I try not to give people, what's called musar, especially on camera. I'm not going to sit around and give you guys, I can talk about Torah and all these things, but I'm not going to sit here and make you guys religious by scaring the ever-living daylights out of you. I used to try to do that and I stopped, right? But we're getting messages, not just tonight with Meron. We're getting messages. I don't know if you guys notice, China, Iran, Russia, Turkey, Ukraine, the UK just moved giant aircraft carriers to the South China Sea. I'm sorry, Japan Sea or China Sea? Here. There you go. Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier to visit Japan. Oh, this is from 3 days ago. British name enormous carrier strike group heading for the Indo-Pacific. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth. 45 destroyers, HMS Defender and HMS Diamond, Type 23 anti-submarine frigates, HMS Canton and HMS Richmond, and Royal Fleet Auxiliary Logistics ships, Fort Victoria and Tide Spring. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the UK just sent this armada to Japan. I believe the Sea of Japan. My friends, I mean, like, stuff is... Stuff's heating up. I'll be gracious to whom I'm gracious, and I will show compassion, whom I will show compassion. Interesting. David Martinez. Yeah, my friends, I mean, listen, you know, what can we say? What can we say? We need to wake up. We need to wake up quickly. Because winter is coming. I mean, summer's coming, but winter's coming, my friends. We need to wake up. That's really it. We need to wake up in general. We need to wake up spiritually. We need to start paying attention to what's going on around us. I feel like people are just asleep. You know? I'm not even going to get into the whole COVID thing, vaccine, this, that, this discussions. I'm not even talking about that, actually. Yeah, I love the Game of Thrones reference. Yeah, guys, I mean, if this is not a wake-up call, then you guys may as well just, like, you know, power down and just go to sleep forever. If you can't see that this is a wake-up call. But you know, on the bright side, Hashem gave me an answer today. He gave me a clear answer. He rarely gives us answers. He rarely tells us why something happened. Brian Lasser, yeah, Achdut. I mean, Achdut is a byproduct of what I'm talking about. You can't just have people talk about, oh, we need Achdut. Like, you can't just like get Achdut. Achdut is a byproduct of work. Unity, Jewish unity, is going to be a byproduct of work. We can't just be like, yay, I love you now, like, you know, whatever, Litvox and Meshahists. No, this is taking work. This is going to take work. You know, Rick Keston talked about a gate slightly open and survivors were exiting a gate. Yeah, listen. When did he talk about this? Are you talking about anybody? Just people will survive anything, period. Yeah, I don't know. My friends, I mean, like, the UK just sent an armada to Japan, to Asia. I mean, guys, I mean, like, excuse me? Crazy stuff, huh? There you go. Well, the company Leonardo. Remember those guys? Those of you guys know what I'm talking about. Leonardo is an Italian company. One of the things they do is cyber security. I won't elaborate. Yeah. I'm just reading this article, guys. Oh, here you go. Oh. The British have yet to decide whether the carrier strike group will be taking the long route to Japan by avoiding the Taiwan Strait in order to prevent antagonizing Beijing. Media speculation recently said warships will go through the South China Sea to the east of the island. The carrier strike group, dubbed CSG-21, will participate in NATO exercises, such as Exercise Steadfast Defender, and provide support to NATO Operation Sea Guardian and maritime security operations in the Black Sea. My friends, like, NATO is like Putin's worst nightmare. A decision have yet to be taken about which, if any, task force warship could enter the Black Sea. a potential flashpoint with Russia. Entry to the Black Sea by warships the size of Queen Elizabeth is restricted under the terms of the Montreux Convention. My friends, I mean, like, well, some guy's writing a comment. Let the Brits take the lead. The Biden administration is not even capable of handling a surge of migrants at the U.S. southern border. No wonder China made fools out of us. Delegation in Alaska, the U.S. delegation in Alaska. They've got our number. Guaranteed China wouldn't be so bold if Trump was still in office. But that's how the left like to roll. Anything to trash America. The USA is back in charge, and the Trump cult traitors can call all they want. These people are just unbelievable. Anyway, my friends, we have to wake up. It's like Bomer. Still, we have to figure out a way how to head into Shavuot, still intact as a nation and as a country, and with a government and with a prime minister. Not just a prime minister, but we have to figure out a way how to get to Shavuot, realizing that we are all one people. If we don't figure this out in the next 17 days, 16 days, Hashem is going to expedite the process. And you don't want to know what that looks like, my friends. You don't want to know what that looks like. Yeah. And why am I saying this? Because you know what? It's May. It's the month of May. Tisha B'Av this year is in end of July. I really don't want to have another Tisha B'Av. I don't want to celebrate anymore. I don't want to commemorate any more Tisha B'Avs. I want the Tisha B'Av of last year to have been the last Tisha B'Av. And so that's why I want us to figure this out. We have 16 days to figure this freaking out, my friends. We have 16 days to figure this to flip out. Otherwise, it's going to be a hot summer. It's going to be a very hot summer, not just for Israel. I mean, dear Lord, you don't want to know. You just don't want to know. If you guys know military history or world history, World War II began September 1939. So, guys, I mean, if we don't figure this out in 16 days, we're gonna have a nice hot summer, and then we'll see what happens in Rosh Hashanah. Let's put it that way, my friends. All right, B'ezrat Hashem, we should be awake. Yeah. Behold, how happy is the man who God reproves. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. That's from Eov. From 6 troubles he will deliver you, even in 7 evil will not touch you. Also Eov. Yep, David Martinez. Thank you very much. Alright, guys. Hopefully Rabbi Shimon is davening for us, and we can bask in the secret light of the Torah. We always have that. Alright, guys. Talk to you soon.